After a bunch of numbers flash across the screen, making us believe we're being hacked ourselves, the movie begins with a group of cops bursting into a room where a very suspicious woman is waiting in front of a laptop. She's Trinity. Outside the building, more and more police officers are gathering because she apparently is a serious criminal. But then, a group of men in black arrives and we meet Smith, the head of this organization. The police chief tries to get on the same page with this guy.
Hey, I'm just doing my job.
But it turns out the man in the suit is smarter and more ruthless, and he tells him that the men inside with Trinity are already dead.
No, Lieutenant, your men are already dead.
Back in the dark room, she effortlessly takes down all the cops after taking them all down with some slow-motion ninja moves. She answers the phone and speaks to someone named Morpheus, who tells her she needs to get out of there.
There's no time, you're gonna have to get to another exit.
And sends her to a public phone. Just as she's escaping, she runs into the men in black who've been looking for her. And the chase begins, with some impressive parkour skills across the rooftops. She now jumps like 10 meters in the air and manages to escape. Then, a public phone rings on a deserted street, and she does what any woman alone on a street would do. She answers it and waits for a truck to crash into her. The trick is that once she connects with her team, she somehow escapes through the phone line, I guess. Now we meet Neo, the protagonist of this story. He's peacefully sleeping now, but immediately starts receiving in his computer some very strange messages about the Matrix. The Matrix has you. And he's told to follow the White Rabbit. This whole thing throws Neo off balance. He's not sure if he's awake or dreaming. Finally, his clients convince him to go with them to a party.
Should we take him with us?
Definitely. It'll be fun.
And what do you know? This girl has a white rabbit tattooed on her. Just like that, they've got Neo caught up in one wild rave. It's at this party where he meets Trinity, who turns out to be a world-renowned hacker.
My name is Trinity.
See, Trinity? That cracked the IRS bitch.
But she can do some crazy things like escape through a phone line. Turns out, she's the one behind those mysterious messages like, "Find company near you." She tells him he's being watched and that his life is in danger, all because he's searching for answers.
They're watching you, Dan.
The next day, we find out that Neo has been lying to us. His real name is Thomas Anderson, and he's just an employee at a software company who's on the verge of losing his job for some reason.
Either you choose to be at your desk on time from this day forward, or you choose to find yourself another job.
Anyway, he receives a package with a very strange and very old phone. Heck, it even has to extend the antenna. One of those you have to pull out to receive the call. A guy named Morpheus calls him on it and tells him that it's time for him to learn the whole truth and that they're coming for him.
They're coming for you, Neo, and I don't know what they're going to do.
Right then, the men in black show up along with the police to take him away. Morpheus gives him some instructions to escape the building, but in the end, when Neo realizes he doesn't have the guts to risk his life, they end up capturing him. Man, you only had one job. Learn how to fly in 5 seconds.
You had one job.
Just the one?
They take him to an interrogation room where they reveal that they know all about his double life as Neo, the part-time hacker. They threaten to throw him in jail for his crimes, but you know how these guys are supposedly the good ones, so they give him another option. Cooperate with them to find Morpheus.
All that we're asking in return is your cooperation.
But Neo gives them a less elegant option. He flips them off.
I give you the finger.
Neo claims to know his rights and demands his one phone call.
I want my phone call.
But Smith tells him, what good is a phone call if you're unable to speak? Then, Neo's mouth starts to seal shut, as if he doesn't even have lips, and they shove some kind of android bug into his stomach. It seems like he's gonna have to accept their offer the hard way, but it turns out it was all just a dream. But he wakes up and gets a call from Morpheus saying that he's the one.
What is happening to me?
You are the one.
Then Trinity shows up, and he gets in the car with her and another girl who points a gun at him and demands that he take off his shirt because he's a very sexy man.
Take off your shirt.
What?
Well, when he does, it doesn't exactly turn out to be one of those happy ending movies. Instead, they bring out a big, complicated machine and attach it to his stomach to extract the weird bug the men in black had put in him.
Jesus Christ, that thing's real!
Then we meet Morpheus, who explains what's really going on. It turns out the Matrix is everything he sees. It's like a prison where life began. He offers Neo a choice between 2 pills. Yeah, that iconic scene. Blue, finish the story and continue as if nothing happened in automatic mode. Red, the ticket to Wonderland to keep chasing the rabbit.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Obviously, Neo wants to know more. so he takes the red pill. Morpheus leads him to a kind of machine, and they start attaching wires all over his body. Turns out, the pill she took was to track his location.
The pill you took is part of a trace program.
At that moment, something very disturbing happens with the mirrors. He touches it, and suddenly, a strange cold substance starts creeping up his arm, while all the screens light up and come to work. In the blink of an eye, actually, more like in one gulp, because the camera takes us straight on a journey down his throat. He wakes up in a bag filled with viscous liquid. There aren't just one or two, but thousands of human bodies in the same condition as him. Then a spider-like robot arrives and disconnects all the cables from bald Neo. And he wakes up with Morpheus welcoming him to the real world.
Welcome to the real world.
Then he undergoes several days of rehabilitation. When he's back, Morpheus tells him that even he doesn't know exactly what date it is.
I can't tell you exactly what year it is, because we honestly don't know.
But this is their ship, and he introduces him to the crew. It's not important to remember their names, as, spoiler alert, they're going to die.
Okay.
What did I just say?
Since Neo still wants to know what the Matrix is, they show it to him right away, in a very subtle way, inserting a long rod into his skull. Now we're in a room so white it's practically melting my eyes. Morpheus explains that this is a program ready to load anything you want. A computer program where you can create an infinite number of things, like clothes and weapons. All simulated, of course. He also explained to us how we got there. Turns out at the end of the 20th century, everything went to hell when artificial intelligence was discovered. This led to a civilization of robots powered by solar energy, but one day they rebelled against their creators, and the war began. Over the years, humans burned the sky to block solar energy, but the machines evolved and started using human bioenergy for their benefit. So humans are essentially being farmed like vegetables to feed the robots. Since they're a pretty intelligent energy source, they need to be controlled somehow. That's why the Matrix exists, to keep humans from ever learning the truth. Basically, everything we've seen so far was just an avatar living in a virtual world created by the robots of Earth.
The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world.
Poor Neo can't process all this information, so he has a mental breakdown and passes out.
Just breathe.
Later, Morpheus tells him that years ago, a man began to control the Matrix at will, leading to the first people being freed.
There was a man born inside who had the ability to change whatever he wanted.
After this man died, he prophesied that someone even more powerful would come to destroy the Matrix and free humanity.
The Oracle prophesied his return, that his coming would hail the destruction of the Matrix.
Now that they've found Neo, all that's left is to prepare for the fight. So, they put him through training programs, and in just 10 minutes, he learns Kung Fu and many other martial arts.
I know Kung Fu.
He's mastered it, and is ready to put it into practice. Morpheus gives Neo a lesson on how everything is programmed, but if he wants, he can control it, talking about things like breathing, speed, and gravity. After several fights, Neo starts to understand what it's all about, but when he tries to test it, he fails and falls. After this lesson, Morpheus explains that some actions can become real with the mind, and if he dies in the Matrix, his mind and consequently his real body will also die.
If you're killed in the Matrix, you die here?
The body cannot live without the mind.
The lessons have to pause for a moment, because in the real world, the ship is in danger. The robots have thought of everything, and designed a kind of octopus-like surveillance machine that hunts down those who aren't machines. So, the crew has to go undercover to avoid being detected and hunted. Another day, Neo continues exploring the ship, trying to convince himself that what he's experiencing is real. He runs into another bald guy, whose name is Cypher. This guy warns him about what's coming in the Matrix, and says it's impossible to defeat the Men in Black, who are like programs dedicated to maintaining order in the Matrix.
You see an agent, you do what we do. Run.
But we also see that this bald guy is willing to betray everyone in exchange for a cushy life in the Matrix, including lots of money and a high social status.
Then we have a deal.
And I want to be rich. Someone important.
That's the next lesson. Don't trust bald guys.
Okay.
Back in the ship, after a hearty breakfast with something that seems like a gross oatmeal, everyone heads to see the Oracle, who is located in the Matrix. Now they're all dressed in cooler, more gangster-style outfits.
We're in.
Along the way, they explain that the Oracle is a very wise seer who will help guide him on his path. But before they meet her, Neo gets a lesson in bending spoons.
Do not try and bend the spoon. Only try to realize the truth.
In summary, she tells him that he might not be the one.
Do you think you're the one?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm not the one.
Sorry, kid.
But Morpheus is so convinced that he would give his life to save him.
Morpheus believes in you, Neo. He believes it so blindly that he's going to sacrifice his life.
So it's up to Neo to prove himself. Once they leave the building, Neo experiences déjà vu, which means there has been a recent change in the Matrix.
Déjà vu.
What did you just say?
So, in other words, this is a trap.
Deja vu is usually a glitch in the Matrix. It happens when they change something.
Their escape route is blocked by a wall, leading to one of the team members being shot. Meanwhile, Morpheus asks a crew member for an escape route.
Got it.
But when they descend between the two walls, they are discovered thanks to the bald guy, who couldn't resist the urge to cough. At that moment, one of the cops transforms into an agent, so Morpheus stays behind to fight him and tells the others to escape to save Neo. A fight ensues where the laws of physics are broken. And the agent seems stronger than Morpheus, who eventually gets captured. The bald guy returns before the others and kills the crew members on the ship. Trinity receives a call from him, who tells her to say goodbye to her friends because he's going to disconnect them, one by one. He saw they weren't important. When only Trinity and Neo are left, the bald guy mentions that if Neo is the one, he won't be able to disconnect him. What he didn't expect was that one of the crew members was still alive and ends up killing him, saving the day. In the central station, Morpheus is tied up and manipulated to enter their system and obtain the codes to destroy the ship and everything they achieved. The only way to prevent this is to disconnect him, which casually includes his death. At the last moment, it's mentioned that Morpheus said only Neo could save him.
The Oracle. She told me this would happen. I'm going in.
This is why Neo and Trinity will return to rescue him.
Tank, load us up.
Smith mentions that besides protecting the Matrix, he's fed up with the place.
I hate this place.
And just wants the codes to find out how to leave and be free.
I need the codes.
You're going to tell me.
Neo and Trinity enter the building, and the first real action scene of the movie begins. At the entrance, the police ask him to remove all metal objects to get through.
Please remove any metallic items you're carrying.
But then Neo opens his coat, and what do they see? An entire arsenal of weapons.
Holy shit!
Looks like it's free bullet day for everyone. When they reach the rooftop, they run into one of the agents, who dodges every bullet in an insanely cool way. But soon enough, Neo starts doing the same, leading to the most iconic scene in the whole series. Even so, he gets beaten, but before he's taken out completely, Trinity comes to the rescue.
Dodge this.
And now, knowing they need that helicopter, she quickly learns how to fly it in just a few minutes. They manage to reach Morpheus, free him, and take down the three agents who just jump into other bodies nearby. When it seems like Morpheus might not make the jump, Neo grabs him just in time. The helicopter gets shaky, but luckily, Morpheus lands safely on a rooftop. Neo also saves Trinity from almost certain death. And they finally get away. The agents know Neo and the others haven't left the Matrix yet.
They're not out yet.
Morpheus is the first to make his exit, but when it's Trinity's turn, she pauses to tell Neo that the Oracle was right about something. Meanwhile, Smith takes over a hobo's body just as Trinity escapes, smashing the phone right after. Instead of fleeing, Neo decides to grow a pair and face Smith head-on. In the end, Neo gets hit by a train, but pulls a slick move, letting Smith think he's won. Neo barely escapes, but the other agents are right on his heels. Now, Neo has to make a mad dash because the Sentinels are tearing through the ship's hull. He heads for the building to answer a phone call that could save him, but when he gets there, Smith is waiting and shoots him multiple times, killing the Chosen One. When all hope seems lost, Trinity, convinced by the Oracle's prophecy that she'd fall in love with the Chosen One, gives Neo the kiss of life, bringing him back stronger than ever, just like the Sleeping Beauty.
I love you.
Now he can stop bullets with ease and control the Matrix like a true boss.
He is the one.
Neo literally merges with Smith and destroys him from the inside out. Finally, Neo races to answer the call just in time, barely escaping before the Sentinels drain the ship's power. And that's it. That wraps up this recap. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. And if you want a part 2, we still have 2 more movies left in this fantastic trilogy. Let us know in the comments below. See you next time.